Imagine a world where global leaders grapple with unseen threats, governments make questionable decisions, and behind closed doors, powerful figures wrestle with unprecedented dilemmas. In this exclusive episode of The Diary of a CEO, we dive deep into a candid conversation with Boris Johnson, former UK Prime Minister, as he shares insights into the COVID-19 pandemic, the lasting impact of Brexit, and the high-stakes world of international politics. If you're curious about what really happened behind the scenes during these turbulent times and how leaders make tough decisions in the face of crisis, this episode is for you. Here are 5 takeaways from the episode. Political power moves. Understand the intricate balance of power in politics. Boris discusses how job offers and political alliances are often leveraged to sway decisions, a critical lesson for anyone navigating complex leadership environments. Crisis management insights. Reflect on how world leaders, like Boris, approached lockdowns during the pandemic. Consider the long-term impact of these decisions on societal health, especially for younger generations, and imagine how you might handle a crisis where the stakes are incredibly high, behind the Brexit decision. Learn how personal and political pressures shaped major decisions like Brexit. Boris reveals how internal conflicts and external threats can push leaders in unexpected directions. Mental health in high-stress roles. Boris shares personal stories about how childhood challenges and family dynamics shaped his resilience. He highlights how understanding one's personal history can be a powerful tool for mental fortitude in high-pressure environments. Ethics in leadership. Question the ethical dilemmas leaders face, especially when public interest collides with personal gain. Boris's reflections prompt us to think critically about the transparency and moral compass required in leadership today. In this episode, Boris Johnson addresses a wide array of topics, including a particularly provocative claim about the origins of the COVID-19 virus. Early in the discussion, Johnson shares his belief that the virus most likely originated from a lab in China, rather than occurring naturally. He suggests that scientists were engineering viruses and ways that they could manipulate it, and that a mistake during this process may have led to the outbreak. This assertion ties into ongoing debates about the possibility of a lab leak, a theory that gained more attention after initial skepticism but remains controversial. Johnson's statement carries weight, given his role as the UK Prime Minister during the pandemic, when the government had to make crucial decisions based on limited and evolving information. His comments add credibility to the lab leak theory, which had been largely dismissed by some experts and governments earlier in the pandemic. While he doesn't provide new evidence, his insider perspective, paired with the implication that virus engineering was actively being researched, underscores the gravity of the issue and the need for a thorough investigation into the virus's origins. This claim is woven into broader reflections on the pandemic response, as Johnson grapples with the consequences of lockdowns. He questions whether the measures he helped enforce, which he now describes as bonkers, were worth the societal harm they caused, particularly to children's education and mental health. This critique is especially striking as it comes from someone who was at the forefront of implementing those very restrictions. In addition to this, the episode touches on Johnson's political career, including his involvement in Brexit and his thoughts on political corruption, as well as his personal background. He candidly discusses the psychological impact of his mother's mental health struggles and his parents' divorce, offering insight into the formative experiences that have shaped his public persona and resilience. By weaving together these reflections on the pandemic, politics, and personal life, Johnson presents a layered narrative that culminates in the controversial assertion that China may have engineered the virus in a lab. This episode offers a rare, unfiltered glimpse into his thoughts on one of the most significant global events of recent times.